Amy Ginden.
Hey, how are you, Anne Marie?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
What are your kids doing for the summer? Anything out there that's open?
No, they're here all the time.
I know.
There's my daughter.
All the time.
She just came in asking for a snack.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have a 9-year-old at home. I mean, I have older kids but like even the camps that I've gotten her into are, I can take her once a week and she can only be there for 4 hours. And I'm like,
I know. I've been looking around. I'm like, is anything even worth it at this point? So
right. She actually goes to so she does she does cheer. And I take her to this place in Westchester. So she's able to go, like I was able to get her in a couple of weeks ago for 3 days. But then they have to like cycle through everybody to give everybody a chance. And then she goes Wednesday nights for an hour. And that's like, I guess it's the best I can get.
How far is it from your house to get there?
I live in West Bradford.
Oh, okay.
So it's in Westchester. It's actually really close to the Westchester office. So eventually she will go there full time. She'll cheer there.
Yeah.
But and it's probably about 10 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad. Because like Westchester for me is like a half an hour almost. Yeah. So it's like
my older kids used to cheer in Norristown, and I used to drive to Norristown.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because they were competitive. They cheered all over the country. So it was like a big thing for them. But yeah, I've traveled to Norristown 4 times a week for the past 10 years.
Oh my gosh. God bless you. My mom was like, I wanted to get into like the competitive cheerleading, and my mom was like, no.
My kids loved it. It's given them so many opportunities. We've cheered all over the world. Like they've met so many people, but it's a huge commitment.
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, I cheered all through high school, and then I coached. I coached competitive cheerleading for like once I graduated high school.
Oh, around here?
No, actually, I coached Central Bucks East.
Okay.
High school.
Yeah.
I coached there for about 3. I coached my college after I graduated. I coached my college for 4 years because we didn't have a coach.
Are you gonna have Tess range here?
I'm trying. She's not into anything organized.
Okay. Yeah. She might. Like my kids did DYW for a few years.
I want to look into it. Now that she's 5, I think she's old enough to do it. They
have a nice flag program, and it's perfect for that age. It's like dipping your toes in the water. Like she'll get a feel for it.
I think once everything settles out, we're going to try to figure out what she wants to do. All right, let me go get her a snack so I can actually sit and listen. Come on, buddy.
JW, KW.
Say bye-bye.
JW, KW. JW at the KW. All right, there'll be no more singing since other people are connecting. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Anne-Marie. Are you the host, Anne-Marie?
Oh, I hope not. How do I make...
No, I am. I logged in as the host. I
hope not.
I'll make Caleb the host.
How do you know if you're the host?
I think if you click on like the 3 little dots.
Oh.
I have more options. Like I can remove you. I can make you the co-host. I can make you the host.
Okay. Yes.
At the power.
They should actually have like a little thing around your name if you're the host. Like a little.
No, that's a good idea.
Like a crown.
Yeah. Like an emoji that just like would follow your head around.
On top of your picture. So we know who's the host. Yeah. I'm going to take a call, so I'm going to mute myself. Do you need me for anything? Hi, Julia. Hi.
How are you, Emery?
Hey, Julia. Anne-Marie's must be on the phone or something.
She is.
Oh, there you
How
go.
are you?
Doing good.
Good. Are you in the office? You are, right?
Yeah,
Is
I
anybody
am.
coming in for the meeting?
What's that?
I said, is anybody coming in for the meeting?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
Not that
I
I'm
don't think
aware of.
Wait, has anybody gotten a scam email or text from Kathy Wolfgang? The entire office is getting them right now.
Let me look.
A text?
Yeah,
What's it saying?
help, I'm in an important meeting and I have a very limited cell coverage. I need you to do me an immediate favor. So about 10 of us have gotten them. So if you get it, delete it.
Oh my goodness.
Where should we wire the funds?
Yeah. Well, here's what's really weird is she's called me AM, which people,
Oh, wow. That's what I call you.
I know. Caleb, are you scamming me? So yeah, so if anybody gets it.
I'm just enjoying the interesting contrast that we have in backgrounds between Daryl being Tom Wolfe and Andy Duncan's Rainbow.
Oh, I gotta switch so I can see everybody. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good, it's great to see people. I love it.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody turn your camera on so we can see you. We miss you guys. Ann Byer, I would love to see your face. Drew Shields, out in the sun.
Nice.
I love it.
Wait. Let's see.
Oh, hi, Ann Byer.
This is
Hi.
me. No shower. This is the real deal. Okay. I can't
love
even
it.
find the thing. I don't know how I zoomed out of you guys, but anyway, here we go.
It's so wonderful to see everybody's face.
I don't know
There's
how to
you
get
guys.
it on. There we go. Yes. This is up close, raw, and personal.
I actually put the filter so I look a little softer on camera.
It does look soft.
All right, so it is 11 a.m. sharp. Thank you all for being here. I'm sure we'll have more folks trickling in. And I want to start this meeting the same way we start every meeting, which is with gratitude. So who's got something that they would like to share?
We had a house go on the market in April, and it has been sleepless nights for Whitney and I. But it went under contract this weekend with 5 offers and above asking.
Oh my gosh, congratulations.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
We were sweating it. COVID was making us a little nervous.
I am so grateful to be back in the office and just see everybody. And when you guys come back, I'm just stare at you guys because I have missed everybody. And it's just wonderful when I see you guys. So I'm just grateful for all of you being part of our lives.
So when you come in the office and Anne-Marie gives you a creepy stare, you'll know
I do.
it has
I
nothing.
do. If Janine Bryant's on here, she'll tell you, I said, I just want to look at you.
Yeah,
I
missing that.
thank Kathleen for just holding down the fort. I mean, she has been there every day since this darn thing started. And just to Kathleen and Amy for bringing in all the safety things that we need to feel safe. And the office is just clean as a whistle, and it's so inviting, and it's just missing everybody. The only thing it's missing is you. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you,
they did a
Kathleen
great
and
job.
Amy.
Thank you, Cindy. I'm really excited that everyone's coming back into the office as well. It's getting a little lonely.
Kathleen would go, hello, the lights just went out. It's dark in here. Wait,
Kathleen had a volleyball named Wilson that she had a conversation with when I got back to the office. So yeah, so I know we were telling you all during COVID-19 and everything, hey, like, don't go in the office, and please come in the office now. So you're welcome to come back. You know, obviously safety first, wear your mask. We've got sanitizers, sanitizing stations.
Masks.
Yep. Come on back. We miss you.
And I'll stare at you.
All right. I am grateful along the same lines. I'm just grateful for the community of people that we have here at KW Exton. I really do miss all of you. I miss seeing people every day. I miss those little small conversations that you just kind of have impromptu when you run into somebody in the hall. And I'm also really glad for the technology that we have, that we can, you know, be on a Zoom call like this and stay safe. And I know there's going to be people out there that, you know, want to make sure that they stay safe, and they're not going to come into the office because they're at, you know, high risk, or they're just not comfortable with that. And that's totally cool. But it is great to be back in the office. And my wife is really, really loving the social distancing of having me working from the office. So.
10 miles social distancing.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder. It's true, people.
I'm just personally grateful. I mean, it's a silly thing, but the weather is insane. It's just, I thought it was going to rain for 10 days. We have these beautiful opportunities to sit on the deck. I've never enjoyed my deck so much in my life. So it's a perfect social distancing opportunity. So joy, joy, joy. Today, golf, golf, golf. Yay!
All right, let's do one more gratitude before we move on to the next portion of our meeting here.
I'd like to give a shout out to Anne-Marie, Lewis, and Lisa. You know, they've been great during this whole thing. Great support, and I really appreciate them.
Thank you.
It's true. Thank you.
Does everybody know Drew? When did you come on board, Drew?
1 week before the shutdown.
He's our lucky charm.
Let everybody know who you are and what you're all about. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
By the way, Drew sold a house during COVID and has listed a house during COVID. So you're going to be seeing good things.
He's working hard.
All right.
Thank you.
So I always screw this up. I'm supposed to start the presentation like with the gratitude slide on there, and I totally forgot to share my screen. So sorry, Amy. She went to all this hard work of creating this beautiful presentation, and I ruined it as usual. So let's get rolling here with that. So we have some things to celebrate, some things to announce as I share my screen. Okay.
No. You want to hit present.
No.
There you go.
There we go. Gratitudes. Thank you, Steve Buscemi. Thank you. We have some birthdays that we want to celebrate. So Amy Ginden, I see she's on our call here today. Happy birthday. Andrew Addy, Chris Carey, Clarissa Brown, Dan Hagan, Doug Strickland, Ian Spangler, Jackie Hauk, Kathleen, Kathleen, Michael Morrell, Sean Farrell, Stephanie Chambers, and Wade Shaver. So happy birthday to all of you. We got some awesome people with birthdays this month.
I like the graphic.
Yes. We got some work anniversaries to celebrate as well. And apparently you're all getting a standing ovation. Andrew Addy, Wendy Carboni, Amy Ginden, Richard Herring, Othel Lester, Julie Powers, Rafi, Jason Reed, Bradley Roberts, Linda Rosander, Bill Spiker, and Erica Wright. So happy work anniversary from all of us here at KW. And we have a capper celebration here for Congratulations. Capped, I believe, in like 6 months. That's an awesome achievement. We're super, super proud of you and all the success that you're having. And we just want to thank you guys for being so involved in the Market Center and plugging in. And also Kathy Golden is our latest capper as well. So congratulations to Kathy. Kathy's on the Dickerman team. And first transaction, Miss Jeanette Mango, congratulations. First of many. You've got a really, really good head of steam under you right now. You're doing fantastic, Jeanette. So very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
And our top agent for the month, Dana Parker. Dana had an amazing month. So I'm not sure if he's on this call or not, but had a couple of good conversations with Dana recently. He's awesome, awesome, awesome guy. So congratulations, Dana. You deserve it. You're working really hard. Top team for the month is the Stein Group. So congratulations to them and to Erica and all the hard work they're putting in. You guys are awesome. And top group for the month is the Matt Gorham Group. So I think this is a new graphic. We got some new faces here. So very excited for you guys and all of your success. Keep doing what you're doing because you're doing awesome here. And wanted to make a couple of announcements. So coming up, there's going to be another bold pivot starting on July 14th through August 6th. Does anyone want to share some of their experience from the last bold pivot that we had, just to maybe inform some people who were not a part of our last bold?
I'll go. I feel Molly, who it was unbelievable. However, let me just say the buyer presentation and the listing presentation were the best presentations I have ever seen, except of course from people in our office. But Molly, who did the buyer consultation, was unbelievable. If you were on bold and you took it and you re-listened to that, it was by far the best presentation I've ever seen. The A game of people were present.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I believe it's going to be $99 again, just like it was last time. So, I mean, that's an incredible value. To be honest, I was a little nervous about the format with everything being online because it's such a different experience than, the typical traditional bold that we're used to. And I was really blown away. It was really, really well done. The coaching was fantastic. I don't know how they managed to do it, but they kept people engaged for 2 hours at a time with high energy and just great content. And like the 2 hours that you're on the computer listening to them just like melted away for me. I didn't feel like I was bored or, anything like that the entire time. So they did a great job with that.
Taylor, the other thing is the community that it created with all of the people that joined. There were like 45,000 people, and that's still going on with tons of great, it's a private group now, and just the fact that there were, 30-some thousand people that did that, and a lot of guests and the people from outside of KW did it as well. And I'm seeing RE/MAX agents that I know in the area posting in this bold group. Is like pretty cool that so many people jumped into that group. And then all that, it just was such a huge value when they added all the coaches, and it's kind of like going to a major league, baseball team and getting to work out with the best players over at Citizens Bank Park. It was just the best opportunity that we've ever had for that price, or for any price.
Thanks, Cindy.
What I witnessed was, bold teaches you some great habits. And even after the sessions are over, I've seen some that participated really can be consistent with some of the habits that they built with script practice. And as Cindy said, building those partnerships of like-minded people that really help us grow. I think that's one of the value adds. And Amy did add the registration link into the chat if anyone's interested on checking that out.
All right. Anyone else want to add anything about their Bold experience from the first round of Bold Pivot that we just had? All right. We will keep right on rolling. So we also have a virtual mega camp this year. A little bit of a bummer because I always love going to Austin, Texas and hanging out down there with all the super, super smart people at mega camp. So it says the details are coming soon, but it's all going to be online. I don't know, Kathleen, do we know if there's going to be like what the cost is going to be for that yet? Okay.
I don't think there is a cost.
Is it going to be free?
It's all virtual.
Okay. So that'll be pretty interesting. And that will be in August, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hold the phone. I'll get the dates and put it in the chat.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that's really cool. Mega Camp was really designed for agents that were doing, you know, like $7-8 million in production and up. And then they've kind of changed it over the years and opened it up to all different production levels. And it's a really good opportunity just to learn from some of the best people in our industry. And now that it's going to be free, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. So I'm excited to see how they're going to roll that out. And that will be a really, really good learning opportunity for those of you that are looking to grow your business here. So, all right. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit. You know, some of us have been with Keller Williams for a really long time. Some of us have been with the company for just, you know, a very short time, maybe a couple months or something like that. I've been with KW for 16 years. So I feel like I've sort of grown up in this company. And one of the things that occurred to me is sometimes I've been with the company so long that I don't even recognize all of the stuff that I know about it, that I haven't done a good job of passing along to our agents to help them understand, you know, really what is the Keller Williams story. And so it's really interesting. So this company, I want to give you a little bit of a history lesson on the company, which sounds super boring, but I think you'll find it is actually pretty interesting. So when Keller Williams was founded, I believe it was founded in the mid-'80s in Austin, Texas by Gary Keller. And he had a vision of making it a nationwide company. And he had one office in Austin, and it was going pretty well, and might have had around 100 agents or something like that. And he was, you know, working on building that brokerage, and everything was going well. And then overnight, he had like 6 or 7 of his top agents left the company and joined a RE/MAX office right across the street. And so it was kind of a bit of a gut punch. And so Gary Keller, being the type of guy that he is, he said, okay, what am I going to do next? So he took his remaining top agents that were left at his company, you know, scheduled a meeting in a conference room with them, and they really just brainstormed. And they asked he asked them a really, really powerful question. How do we create a company that no one would ever want or need to leave? Right? So I'll say that again. How do we create a company that no one would ever want or need to leave? And that is such a powerful question. And they brainstormed, and they came up with some really good ideas that are still, you know, the foundation and really some of the most important tenets of Keller Williams. So number one, they discussed a profit share. So his agent said, hey, listen, Gary, you know, we know you have this vision to build this thing bigger and make it a national brand. And, you know, obviously now it's an international brand. And they said, hey, listen, we want to share in some of the profits when we help you grow this company. And so they came up with this profit sharing model. So with a traditional company, you know, if they turn a profit in a given month, where does that profit go? Who gets that profit? Does anybody know? Anne-Marie?
I'm not going to answer because I tell the story to every. Where do the profits go?
Yeah, where do the profits go? I mean, I think the answer is
goes.
Who knows where they go? I mean, not at Keller Williams, at a different brokerage. With a Berkshire Hathaway, if you're long.
They go to the stockholders. They go to Wall Street. They go to investors. They go to. to Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, right? Yeah. So, I mean, most people, they're like, I don't even know where it goes. So, right, the cool thing about Keller Williams is 52% of the profit goes to the investors that took the risk to start that franchise, and 48% of that profit goes to the agents that help grow the company, right? And so that's the profit sharing model that Gary Keller laid out there. He made us true stakeholders in the company, which is one of the major reasons why Keller Williams has grown the way that it has over these past, many years. So that's really cool. So profit share is one of the major pillars. Another one was the ALC, the Agent Leadership Council. And so when Gary was talking to these agents that were remaining at his company, they said, listen, we want to help you build this company, but we also want to have a say in how this company is built and how it's developed and the decision-making process, for our agents and for our office. And so he created the Agent Leadership Council, which is, the agents that are in the top 20% in production for that office, if they're selected, have an opportunity to be on that Agent Leadership Council. And they really help guide some of the decision-making that's done in each and every individual KW office. And then the last thing that was kind of a major pillar of Keller Williams was the capping commission model, right? And so that was a revolutionary breakthrough, because at other companies, his agent said, hey, listen, Gary, we're cool with helping you build this company. We want to help you do that, but it feels like we almost get punished. The more real estate we sell, the more we have to pay you, right? And so Gary Keller thought about that, and they developed this cap and commission model, where once you pay your cap of $24,000, you keep 100% of the commission up and above that. So it really incentivized people that wanted to grow their businesses and make additional income by doing so. So that's kind of like some of the major tenets that really kind of built the foundation of what Keller Williams is today. Does anyone have questions about that? All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. So I wanted to talk to you now about something that's definitely an interesting problem that we all have right now. And that would be, what is going on in terms of our market right now is it's an extreme lack of inventory. Who's experiencing that right now? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty challenging for sure. We're having a lot of situations with multiple offers, and it's pretty frustrating and pretty tough to work with buyers given the current environment that we're in right now. And so it's really never been a more important time to be a listing agent right now. I mean, obviously we're still always going to continue to work with buyers, and that's a very important part of the puzzle. And yet, if we can control more of the market through the listings, it's going to make our lives a lot easier, right? And there's some challenges with that. There really are. So I wanted to share with you something pretty cool. I'm going to share my screen again. I don't know how many of you are like pretty familiar with Bright and some of the statistics and how all that stuff works, but they do have some pretty cool stuff that we can use to help help tell the story of what's going on with our listing inventory and how we can really use that information to educate our sellers on why now might be the time for them to sell if they're thinking about selling at any point in the next several years. So I'm going to do a screen share here in just a second. So I don't know if any of you have are familiar with some of the reporting stuff on Trend, but there's some really good stuff. They completely changed. I keep calling it Trend. It's Bright. Sorry, I'm stuck in the past here. It's really cool, some of the stuff that they're doing there in terms of just being able to go in there and in 2 seconds print off something that you can take with you on a listing presentation that's going to not only educate you, but also educate your sellers on what's going on in this market right now. So I'm going to do a quick screen share. Sorry about that. I was having a little bit of issues with my my Bright account. So, all right. So if you go into the market research tab here, there's something you can pull down, Industry Watch. Okay. So you pull this up, you can select an area. In this example, I'm just going to do Chester County since that's an area where a whole heck of a lot of us are based out of. And you can do a time period. You can do Q1 or whatever period you want. I'm just going to keep it at most recent and then view the report. So the cool thing about this is it's going to tell you some really key metrics about what's going on in the market. So I think the most important thing to check out here, so it's tracking Q1 of 2018 is the dark gray, 2019 Q1 is the light gray, and then Q1 of 2020 is the orange. So you can see the huge difference in inventory between these three different time points. If we look at this part right here, homes for sale. So this same time last year, there's 37.9% less inventory on the market this year than there was in 2019, which is crazy to think about because 2019, we didn't have enough inventory. And that's why you're experiencing what you're experiencing with being so challenging to work with buyers right now. So I would definitely recommend, making sure you have this information, that you can explain this well to somebody who might be interested in selling their home, that we literally have 39.4% less months supply of inventory, and we have 37.9% less homes for sale right now. So pretty powerful information to be able to share with people. And, I think one of the conversations we need to be willing to have, and this might be a little controversial or something that you're not really comfortable with doing. And yet I really think that we need to actually consider, does it make sense for some of our people that want to both buy and sell in this market? Does it make sense for us to say, hey, listen, it might make a whole heck of a lot of sense for you to sell your house now and create some kind of intermediate housing for yourself, whether that's a rental, moving in with some, family members or something like that. I mean, obviously we have a lot of people who want to buy and sell at the same time. And the challenge is they can sell their house for a great price now, but they feel like they're not going to have a great home to be able to buy because there's so little inventory. So if we can unlock some of that opportunity and say, hey, listen, would you consider selling your house now for a great price, renting for a year or 6 months or whatever, and then looking to buy in 6 months or a year? There's not a guarantee that in 6 months or a year from now, there's going to be way more inventory. And yet I'm pretty sure that it won't be the same environment that we're in right now in terms of it being such a short supply of listings right now. Thoughts, feedback on that?
I have something.
Yeah.
I have sellers right now who I have two different sellers right now that they do not want to put their house on the market because like you said, they might not be able to find something. And I don't know that short-term housing would be an option for them. But I think that's part of the problem we're seeing is a lot of the people out there are afraid to put their house on the market so that they, because they don't have a house to buy. Because I mean, we're scrambling right now in the listings that I do have sold. We're scrambling right now to find a place for them to go. Is there like a contingency that we can write into the offer that would say like, what is the contingency most agents in our office are using, I should say, that like, so the seller has to find suitable housing?
Caleb, can I comment on that?
Yeah.
For those of you that were selling real estate in the very early 2000s, you probably remember exactly that. That was almost every listing was sale will be contingent upon seller finding suitable housing. It was frustrating, but it worked in a lot of cases. And I know that with all of our buyer clients right now, we are exploring whether or not they've got that opportunity to be flexible. And one thing we're doing, if they do have flexibility in staying where they are, like if they're, especially the first-time home buyers, we're telling them, let's make offers, let's offer to go to settlement and offer to give post-settlement possession back to the seller for however long it takes them to find a house. And that's making a big difference in multiple offer situations.
I love that. That's a really good point. Does everyone, do you understand that? Colby, can you explain that a little bit more, or just explain it again?
Sure. If a buyer has flexibility of staying where they're currently living, like they haven't sold a house or they're renting, they got a month to month or whatever it may be, we've been able to win some multiple offer situations by, and for less money than what the highest price was, because we were able to offer to the seller, we'll go to settlement, quickly inside of 30 days. Now you have the cash. You don't have to have a contingency. You don't have to do a bridge loan. You're free to go. But you can stay in your house. You can keep living there post settlement until you find something, and we'll cap it. This might be for 4 months or 6 months or whatever it may be. But it gives that seller just so much more power when they go to make an offer on their next property, and it doesn't put them in a interim housing situation.
Yeah, I love that. And so part of that is, Colby, to use that strategy, you've got to have that conversation with the listing agent and say, hey, look, are they looking to buy another house? Is that going to be an issue for them? And not, having the conversation with the agent and letting them know, hey, look, we can be incredibly flexible because they're, they can continue renting where they are now or living with family or whatever for up to 6 months. And I think that's a really, really great point that you bring up. So, yeah.
I want to throw out another idea, and I haven't talked to anybody about this yet. We've been in a market, and I'm not in the streets. So all of you that are selling, please give me feedback. This is idea that's not tested. So for several years now, we've been pricing really, really tight. We've been making sure houses are getting on the market that are in pristine, perfect condition with professional photographs. And people are spending a lot of time getting houses ready. So because people couldn't find contractors and they couldn't get their carpet replaced or their house painted or countertops put in, the market that we're in right now, and Colby, you remember this, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, nobody gave a flying patootie whether it had new granite countertops. They wanted a house. So I think some of the strategy we can use now is the people who've been thinking about, I need to get my house ready to go to the market. We need to kind of give up on that process. We listed, as of, I think it was Tuesday, the numbers were in Chester County alone, 454 houses were listed since June 1st, and 407 had already sold. So that basically means that 86% of the houses listed in the last 19 days from Tuesday were already under contract. So in my opinion, I have two things. I don't think we need to have people spend $10,000 and 3 months getting their house ready to sell, number one. Number two, we were pricing tight on the market. We were saying, hey, listen, price tight. If you're a $400,000 house that's priced right at 400, we'll get multiple offers. Guess what, guys? If it was me, if I was doing the listing, I'd price that sucker at 450. I'd rather have the motivated, strong buyers instead of having the seller having to filter through 20 offers and sort out which one is the best one. Price it to the market. It's going to sell anyway. It's going to get offers and the right offer will come in. But I would do two things. I'd price a little faster, a little higher than the market. We're seeing the sale price increasing literally by 3 or 4% a month. This is going to run out. But in the meantime, what we can do is we can preserve the inventory we have. Like we can stretch it onto the market a little bit later. Somebody told me just yesterday in Westchester that they had a house with in Kennett that was underpriced. Why would you underprice in this market? And there were however many offers on the table, and look at the frustration that causes so many people. And then the second thing is, let's just go ahead and get a house nice and clean, get it decluttered, and get nice, wonderful photographs. But let's not push the seller to spend $10,000 to $15,000 updating a house that probably is going to sell anyway. So what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. It doesn't need to be perfect. It does need to be clean and does need to present well for the photographs and everything. But yeah, it doesn't need to be as perfect as it used to be, because you're probably seeing that right now. Fixer-uppers that are in good locations and desirable school districts and everything are probably going to get snapped up too. So yeah, and we price ahead of the market, which means in the market that's rising, we price it a little higher than the last comp. In a market that's falling, we price it a little bit lower than the last comp. So yeah, I think you make some good points there for sure. So, but it's time to get creative and figure out how we can get more listings. It's time to start sending, videos to your database and explaining to them, educating them that, now is a great time to sell your house. It's 38% less competition than we had last year. So, and tell the stories of the homes that you're selling that have these multiple offer situations, and explain to people, what's going on with that. So just consistently telling that story of what's going on in the market is going to help people understand. So, well, yeah, this is a conversation that I think deserves some more attention in terms of listings. And we also have a really special guest with us today. Many of you know Usha Patel. She is a fireball, a super, super successful Keller Williams agent. She's passionate about this company. She's super, super passionate about Quantum Leap and that program. And I wanted to bring her on because one of the things I realized about myself is that during this whole COVID-19 thing, pretty much all of the positive habits that I had developed in my life, whether it was working out, waking up early, going to bed early, reading, journaling, like when COVID-19 hit, like eating healthy, like when COVID-19 hit, I just, for some reason, decided that I don't need to do any of those things anymore. For some reason, I need to stay up late, get up later, eat lots of crappy, sugary foods. And like, I just felt like every habit that I worked so hard to develop sort of like went out the window. So now's the time to recommit to those habits, identify what is the one habit right now that would have the biggest impact in my life if I were to develop it or to stop doing whatever that thing is. And I know Usha is somebody that is passionate about this topic. And like I said, she's always got plenty of energy to share with us. So Usha, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. I am so excited to see everyone. I absolutely love this. I get to see everybody via Zoom and I don't have to drive. It's been really interesting almost 4 months now. I was excited, when Caleb called me. It's one of the things that I absolutely enjoy so much is a constant and never-ending improvement, not only just with myself, but everybody else as well. It brings me so much joy when I can see that happening. When COVID hit, Bob and I actually were in California, and we managed to just leave California before everything shut down. And so we came back, and really and truly, we just looked at everything and we said, what's our number one focus going to be? What we focus on expands. We all know that many of you have done BOLD, and it's one of the most important BOLD laws out there, right? Is what we focus on expands. So we really looked at what is it that we were going to focus on. And it's so interesting because we have in our kitchen a board, and I had written on the board in January, Healthy 2020. Focus on healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, and healthy choices. And so it was really, really interesting because this situation is like nothing else, right? When we really look at life, some of you, your life may be 20 years, some of you may be 40 years. Mine is 60 plus years. Just a little over 60. And when I think about it, I have seen so many different things in my life, including a war in Saudi Arabia, where I was when I first met my husband 32 years ago. And yet this has been completely different, right? And so we all look at it and we go, how are we going to navigate this? What is it that we're going to focus on? So I'd like to ask everybody a question, because I always like it to be a little participatory. And so my question you can either unmute or put it in the chat. What did you focus on? What is it? What were you feeling? What were your emotions? What were your thoughts? What was your language? What were you saying to yourself? So I'd like everybody to take just a few minutes and think about that, or you know what you felt. You're probably feeling it right now as well. We're not through this yet. We're just beginning, right? So what were you feeling? What were you saying to yourself? I'd like to see some things in the chat box, or somebody just unmute yourself and let's make this a lot of fun. I see crisis management, Caleb. Yeah. What else? Crisis is a word that I've heard a lot. What else? What did you feel? Were you feeling family health? Were you scared? Were you concerned? What were the emotions that we were feeling? Anybody? It's been said that when be healthy and use the time we have at home to be productive. Yeah, so your focus was healthy. I focused on saying safe. We're talking about safe, right? Frustrated. Yeah, all of that. Anything else? There's like 400 plus emotions in the dictionary, and yet there's some regular ones that we feel, right? What were you feeling? Frustrated and overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen to my business? I had all the business stacked up, and now what's going to happen, right? Everybody's like, no, I can't have anybody in my home. Scared, especially in the beginning. Absolutely. We didn't know what was going on. And one of the things my coach taught me long time ago is the circles of influence. So many times we focus on things that are out of our control. There's the media's out of our control, right? What other people say is out of our control. What's in our control is in our inner circle. So when we focus on ourselves, first and foremost, what we're thinking, what we're saying to ourselves, you know, how we're showing up is going to be really important. So I'd like everybody to draw a triangle. If you've got a piece of paper, or just imagine it, because this is where we live. One of the, you know, I do a lot of work with Tony Robbins, and he always says that when we can master our state, we can master just about anything. So the triangle on the bottom, and it's something else that I've also heard, is the triangle is a very stable object, right? You know, if you have a really strong foundation, the pyramids, they're strong, right? Like, let's try moving those pyramids. They're so strong, they won't move, right? So the triangle on the bottom, if you write down physiology, what kind of physiology do you feel on a regular basis? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you strong? Do you breathe? Do you breathe with purpose, or do you have a lot of shallow breathing, right? Are you scowling? Are you happy, right? So your physiology, I mean, even with our clients, when we're making lead gen calls, is our physiology one that's going to bring a lot of energy across, right? We're making these care calls. Is your physiology coming over as one of empathy, one of caring, right? So your physiology, and because of time, I'm not going to go into a lot of it. We all know our physiology. We all know that if we sit slumped down, we're going to have very low energy. But if we sit up straight, if we stand up, we know that we can make some very awesome phone calls, right? Because our energy is open. What are we saying right now? Through Bold, we heard heads down, hearts open, right? And so our physiology, when we've got that, I think that we have a lot of power. We have a lot of control. So the other side of the pyramid, I'd like you to put focus. So we've got physiology, we've got focus. Earlier on, I did ask you, what are you focusing on? Right now, what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the fact that there's not a lot of inventory? Are you focusing on the fact that, you know what, I don't know if I feel safe doing business, or I don't know about my clients? By the way, this is happening with your clients as well. This is happening with everybody in our community. What are they focusing on? Oh my goodness, you know what? We have a lot more cases now. Or you know what? I don't even know about all of this, you know? So you're focusing on a lot of social media that's negative. We're focusing on perhaps negative things instead of positive. The people that are doing business right now, I know that they're managing their state. their physiology, their focus, what they're focusing on. You know, I'm going to make all of these care calls, and I'm going to really be out there and help people. And I know the people that did that, they did a ton of business. This month, as we went yellow and we're going green, they've got a lot in the pipeline because they're focused on making those care calls. They focused on people who they could serve. And then the other side of the pyramid is language. Many of you have been coached and heard from so many great people in our leadership from KWRI through MAPS coaching. Many of you might be in coaching. The words we use have a lot of energy. They have a lot of power. So what kind of words are you using? You know, is your language things like, this is just terrible, you know? I mean, my business is just imploded. What is the language you're using versus this is an opportunity for me to really hyper focus. This is an opportunity. This is something that I'm going to really get much better at. This is my opportunity to reach out to people. This is my opportunity to become the better version of myself. In fact, now that I can't go anywhere, I can really focus on how I can create better habits. And it was definitely one of those things, you know, when Caleb talked about everything went out the window, it's interesting because for us, my husband and I, we travel a lot, and there was just a lot of change. And for us, it's been not a lot of change. So we've been able to focus a lot more on the habits. For example, for our health, definitely, you know, I used to do a lot of yoga. My yoga studio's closed. So we said, okay, what are we going to do? Let's just both decide. And we both decided that we would wake up early. And this is something we did at the last downturn. I think, Cindy, you will remember Steve Murray. He said, if you're going to make it through this market, you're going to need to wake up an hour early. Because when you get 1 extra hour and you can become very purposeful, you're going to be able to really manage what's going on. And so during 2008 and 9, it was really funny because we used to wake up at 5 a.m. and my husband looked at me and he said, honey, 4 a.m. And I said, what? He's a former Marine. I'm a former nurse, and we're both used to early morning hours. But we created a habit then to wake up at 4 a.m. So needless to say, we've been getting up early, 4:30 sometimes, you know, when it's barely getting light. There's no one on the path where we live along the canal and the river with our dog, and then we're getting our exercise in. Because we know when we take care of our bodies and we have good energy, that will sustain us through the day. Starting June 1st, I introduced something else. I said to my husband, you know what? I'm not going to eat any sugar, no alcohol, no desserts. He goes, what? I said, you don't have to do it. I'm going to do it. So he said, I'll do it for 10 days. We all know about the one thing in the 66-day habit, correct? So we've been doing our 66-day habit because, Caleb, you're right. We were doing the sugars, we were doing with the ice cream every night, and we're like, oh my goodness, what happened, you know? And
wait,
so we
Isha,
made
I gotta stop you there. My question that's burning on my mind is, is the dog ready to wake up and go for a run at 4 a.m.?
She is. Yes, she is. Yes, yeah. She's I think she's about 9 years old, so she's still got a lot of energy. So really and truly, what I want to really say is that think about your state where you live, right? I always go, where do you live? People say Pennsylvania. No, this is where we live. Our physiology, focus, and our language. And then what's the one habit that you're going to create starting today? What will you commit to if you have a very, very strong desire for something? I will share real quick. Mine was to sponsor 30 young students, some young souls, to attend Quantum Leap. And this month, sending an email, social media, asking, putting out a mass thing, most of the time it just doesn't work. We know that people will look at it. It's the one-on-one conversations that will do it. Needless to say, I'm so excited. I have 32 young souls attending Quantum Leap tomorrow with Gary Keller. And it just really is, and it's no different from us helping 32 clients, right? Can we create a habit for lead generation, for making care calls? When we take care of ourselves, when we know our purpose, and it's really, really clear, we can do that. So in Quantum Leap, Gary's 18 habits are number one, the self-discipline, and it's the habit, the reality habit is the very first one. Unless you really look at yourself and look at the truth, you're not going to change it. So what's the one habit that you will look at and say, I am going to change that so that I can really, for the next couple of months, get on a better path? Who's got a habit? I shared with you a couple of mine. Because Caleb's going to hold you able.
Usha, I'm thinking about what my habit needs to be. I'm really struggling. I was in a really good groove with exercising every single morning, at least 5 days a week. And I'm struggling to get back there. I'm really struggling to get back there. So yeah, that'll be my one habit. I'm going to commit to exercising at least 5 days a week, before 9 a.m.
So I'd like to ask everybody, what did Caleb just do? What did he just do? Nancy says, ride my bike for 30 minutes a day in the morning. Caleb, right there with you. What did Caleb just do? And also Nancy, I believe it was. What happens when somebody shares a goal in front of 44 people?
Well, it becomes very real, and it becomes a promise that you make to yourself that you share with other people.
That's correct. That's correct. It's also accountability, right? Is that scary to just, say to all your peers, this is what I'm going to do? What are the chances he's not going to do it?
He's going to have a lot of people asking him daily.
He's going to ask a lot of people. Yeah, he's going to have a lot of people. When you put a goal out there, if it's that important for you, tell it to the world. If people are not laughing at your goals, they always say they're not big enough. And yet I always say, when you share your goals with other people, they will support you. They will help you along the journey. And so I'm going to urge you to really, really take a habit. I don't know how much time I have. I didn't pay attention to the time. I apologize. But I will send, I'm sorry.
You're good. You have more time if you want.
So Gary's 18 habits for success are the number one is the self-discipline. Nothing changes until we do. Everything that you want in life is, if it's not happening outside in your world, it's because it didn't happen on the inside. So your self-discipline is the most important one. And the 3 habits that he has is the reality habit, which is get real, get right, the mindset habit, and the persistent habit. And I always say I could just stop right there, but I'm going to go through all of them only because you will see that if you start on those, the rest of them are going to follow. And this is why I love the Quantum Leap lessons. So when we get real with ourselves, when we have a mindset of saying, you know what, I'm going to do it and I'm not going to quit, that's going to move you forward. The second discipline is the spiritual discipline. We all think that we do everything in life alone. And I will say to you that there is higher energy, higher power, whatever it is you choose to believe, that there is a higher authority that is guiding us. And so every single day, the authority habit, which is also the prayer and meditation, and the gratitude habit, right? When we are grateful, fear disappears. We talk about fear and faith, they cannot exist together. And then the third discipline is the physical discipline, which we just talked about, which is the nutrition habit. What are we choosing? No more ice cream, chocolate as well. And exercise, right? Breathing, stretching, walking, getting some cardio in, and then the stress management. Really, the stress management is about the circles of influence, and it is where are you focusing your energy, on the outside or the inside. The fourth discipline is your time. We go straight to time. I don't have time, I don't have time. But it really is, if you have the self-discipline, you will have the time. The time, the 3 habits that Gary talks about is the playtime, which we're all good at. But the pay time, which is our lead gen, which is reaching out to people, right? Which is doing the work, which is our 20%. Because we will get our results when we focus on the top 20% of things that are dollar productive activities. And then the organizational time. We must all in our schedules have a time where we're planning and preparing. If you don't have that time block, I highly recommend you put that in. And then the 5th discipline is going to be the money discipline. The money will come if we do all of those things, correct? When you're managing yourself, you're managing your spirit, your energy, your physical, your time, the money's gonna follow. But we all go, I wanna make more money. But we're not focusing on the other disciplines first. So the money is the gross income habit. Are we creating that cash flow? In Gary Keller's CEO podcast, there is Keith Cunningham. That podcast, I'm going to highly recommend you listen to. I've personally met Keith Cunningham, and he really talks about right now, it's really important to create cash flow, create the cash flow, and we know how we can do it, and also make sure that we're holding our expenses. Okay, so those are 2 key things that's going to help us through this crisis. And then, or opportunity in what I would choose to say it's an opportunity. The other one is 70-30 rule, which is again, 70, making sure that we're not spending all of our money, that we live on 70% versus the full 100%. And then the 30%, you can put them in your wealth generation buckets or your contribution buckets, and your dream buckets. And then the 3rd habit for that, for money, is value and accountability. How are you going to hold your money accountable? How much value are you bringing to everybody? We know that we are a training education company. Bold's coming up next month. I'm going to it is next week. It's June, but it's the week after. But definitely highly encourage you to jump on there, because it keeps us on track. And then the last discipline is growth. The growth discipline, as Gary always talks about, if you're not growing, if you're not doing something uncomfortable in a day, you're not growing. We might say we're growing, but we're not. So do one thing uncomfortable, and that's your unique ability. If you love people, call them, right? If you love numbers, research them and share them with everybody, right? We all have unique abilities. Find them, okay? Strength Finders is a great way to find them, and or talk to your team leader or the KPA. You will find your strengths. The leverage habit, right? We think we got to do everything alone, and no one succeeds alone. We know that we will go fast alone, and then we'll burn out. But together we can go a lot further. And then the last one is the new capacities habit and the repair habit, which is we are learning new things right now, aren't we? Zoom is some of our best friends. I still haven't figured out a lot of things about Zoom, and I know that I'm learning as I'm going. Command is a great one. Please make sure that you start getting into that habit. 1 hour of command a day. That could be your habit. 66 days, get on command. As Gene Rivers says, if we're not doing command 1 hour a day, then we're absolutely going to have a much difficult time getting ahead, because other people are going to use that as leverage. So those are the 6 life disciplines and the 18 habits that Gary Keller has in Quantum Leap. I love them. I hope that you will embrace them and pick one habit. Pick one habit and just share it with somebody and commit to the 66 days. So with that all being said, questions. And if you're between the ages of 18 and 28, please check with Caleb. He will send you the link and register. We have time for more people. There's going to be people from all over the world.
That's awesome. Is there, Usha, are you aware of a regular Quantum Leap coming up at any point in the future?
Yes, our region is doing one in September, and I'm not sure if that's going to be virtual, but we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
All right.
Very cool. Well, I see some people in the chat box posting what they're making a commitment to, and I think that's awesome. That's exactly why we're here. You can change your life one habit at a time. And Usha, I appreciate you bringing that message to each and every one of us, because it's powerful, especially right now.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. I appreciate all of you, and be awesome out there, because you are. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Usha. All right. So that is a wrap for our meeting for today. Thank you all for being here. Care about each and every single one of you. If you're having any challenges with your business or with your life that you'd love to talk to me or Lewis or Anne-Marie about, that's what we're here for. We're committed to your success, whatever it takes. So have a fantastic rest of your day. Go find some listings. All right. Bye, everybody.